What's up, guys? This is Ronnie again, back at you live. Depending on if you watch this in the morning, afternoon, night, good morning, good afternoon, good night. I kind of want to just hit on the topic. I'm reading this book right now, and it talks about chasing the lion, which basically talks about this parable of this guy in the Bible where he basically chases this lion in the snow in the pit and kills this lion, and pretty much his career just elevated from there. And I thought this was very interesting because I think as the author writes, what he does is kind of points out why is it that as we get older, we stop trying to chase that lion. And not literally, obviously, but just in life in general. Why do we seem to run away from fear? Or why do we feel to run away from what seem to be challenges? Because those challenges could lead up to a big, huge success. And not to say that you have to go wrestle a lion to get a promotion on the military team or to get a bonus on your job or to get a big contract. But I think a lot of times when we're looking to succeed in whatever it is that we do, we run from the elephant in the room. And I think it's important to address the elephant in the room. So for me, what is the elephant in the room? What is the tiger? What's the tiger? What is the lion in the room that is your biggest fear? And for a lot of people, the number one thing is public speaking. Not for me per se, as you can probably tell based on all these videos and posts or whatever and all the speaking engagements that I do. But I find that a lot of people are scared to speak in public. And not only just speak, but also speak their mind. Given what's really going on, a lot of things that are going on currently in regards to Black Lives Matter movement, the COVID-19, I think a lot of people have very sincere concerns about how they feel and how they feel in this country or in the world per se, regarding whether it's the color of their skin or from a health standard point of view. How do you address individuals who don't practice social distancing, wearing masks, things that sort? And a lot of that goes to being yourself and speaking, dealing with the lion in the room. And so for me, for me to be successful, I've learned that I've had to address those lions in the room or the elephant in the room and not just run away from fear. Because sometimes the biggest thing between you and your goal, or you and your success story, or you and your family, or your relationship with your spouse is, hey, what's that topic that you don't want to talk about? And I know I was talking about public speaking, but I think public speaking is just not about just being on the stage in front of people. It's about being exposed to your spouse, being exposed to your kids and say, hey, this is what I'm truly feeling. Like, how do I address that and not feel like you're going to criticize and judge me? And what if you do criticize and judge me? What do I do then? Do you stop being yourself? Do you stop putting thought and energy into that relationship? Do you close up shop with your business? I think a lot of times we create our own fears. And I think prime example of chasing that lion, the number one fear is what? He's gonna maul you, he's going to take your arm off. I mean, we've all probably seen Tiger King, right? And the young lady who got her arm taken off. But one of the things that impressed me for the young lady is that she went right back to work. So where are those individuals who say, okay, even though I'm going to take a risk of getting your arm mauled off, and once again, I'm not advocating anybody to go chase a lion, but however, take a risk in life. Take an educated risk. And sometimes you might not even be educated. I think a lot of times we are so fearful of things that we create in our own head. And even if those issues become real. So for example, let's say if you're with a business partner and you realize they're spending all the money or they're not being respectful of the money that they're spending, and you don't want to talk about it because you're like, he has the creative juices or he has the relationships with the contracts. You still have to have that conversation. And the best way to deal with that is, one, like I talked about in my last video, the art of negotiation. I feel like everything is about negotiation. So when you're addressing the lying, or the elephant in the room, I think it's very important to negotiate. Start it with realizing the issue right off hand. And I talked about this in one of my videos, The Black Swan. Learn what's the underlying issue of why that business partner is spending money that he or she is doing. Maybe they think they're doing the right thing. Maybe they think they're chasing the next contract and wine and dining clients. And maybe they are, and you might have to change your purview to understand that. Or maybe they need to change their purview to understand the longevity of the company. So a lot of times we're trying to get to the next level or finish that degree or get our kids to do something that we feel like they should be doing. We clam up or we try to force a round peg in a square hole. And I get it. Like at some point in time, kids do need to be respectful. At some point in time, spouses need to be respectful. You can't be with that person all the time. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily trying to get people to do what you want them to do all the time. It's to have a high level of integrity that they make the right choices whether you're there or not. So when you talk about being successful and when you're talking about chasing that line and chasing your fears, it's about getting everybody on the same page. Getting everybody to understand, okay, this is the common goal where we want to go. Because most of the times, the fear issue is that you and the fear that you're facing are not on the same page. And what I mean by that, take an example. If you're trying to, for me, when I was taking the bar, I failed the bar the first time I took it. Yes, did I put in the work? Did I do the bar review courses? Yes, absolutely. But what I needed to do to train myself to take the bar exam was something totally different than that bar review course. Now, it doesn't mean that I had to shut down and say, oh, forget this, or, you know, and just disregard everything that was going on in regards to another bar review course. Excuse me, notification just popped up on my phone. Or ignore everything that was going on with a previous bar review course and not try to do something different. Sometimes in fear is just in your head and say, okay, maybe that didn't work, but I'm not gonna stop chasing my fears. I'm not gonna stop trying to accomplish the goal that I feel like it's been set up in my heart to achieve. And that's one way to address fear. That's another. One is negotiation. Two is just readjusting how you attack the fear. Readjusting how you feel like it affects you. Now, it's not always about just a dire need or something that's gonna just explode, or once you get on the stage to do a public speaking, that folks gonna throw tomatoes and lettuce at you, or people gonna boo you off the stage. Sometimes it's, are you ready? Are you providing quality content that somebody is going to digest, understand, and act on it? I think a lot of times we're so caught up in entertainment, which is good. I know the Jay-Z's, Beyonce's, and the Georgia Florida lines, everybody, they do a great job, and I'm not saying anything is wrong with entertainment. But if one of your fears is public speaking, you gotta ask yourself, what is that fear about? Is it fear that you get booed off the stage? Well, how you conquer that fear? To make sure that you're providing content and that you're connecting with your audience in a way that the thought of them booing you off the stage never even enters their mind. Period. So I know that I've been talking about fear lately and negotiation and dealing with the online issues, but I think those are just some important aspects of just being successful. Whether it's in law, whether it's in business, you have to learn how to face that fear. And sometimes fear is not always a real fear. It's sometimes just in your head. I hope this guys helped you guys. Feel free to comment, share, like, post, all that stuff. Follow me on all social media platforms. That's Get Rice Now, which is GETRICENOW. You guys have a great day.